How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Koen's Corner. Now, after the last two videos haven't exactly been the most positive things in the world, I decided that I would switch it up a little bit before the end of the year and talk about something actually relatively positive, because there have not only been a lot of bad things that have happened to me this last year, there have also been a lot of positives, and I have mentioned them briefly in the past few videos, but hadn't really touched on them in a lot of detail, which is exactly what I'm going to do today. And I'm primarily just talking about one topic in particular, which has something to do with this thing right here. And actually it has to do with, where is the other one? Two things of the exact same category. These are Balisongs, and they have been a big part of my journey in getting into flow arts, which is essentially, excuse me, the art where you get into flow, pretty much, which is a very rough and very raw explanation or definition or whatever you want to call it, but it is essentially what that means. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about how I got into it and why I got into it, because it's actually a pretty interesting story. So, because 2024 hasn't exactly been my greatest year of all time, that was certainly the sentence of all time for sure, I was looking for some new things to do, something to actually not only keep me occupied, but to also just try something a little bit different with my time that didn't just revolve around IT-related stuff. Because, to give you some context or some background or whatever you want to call it, I have been doing all sorts of crazy IT-related things for most of my life. A lot of my life has been revolving around computers since practically I was born, if I didn't know any better. So I had a lot of computer things pretty much around me for about as long as I can remember, and as such, I spent most of my life in front of a screen, basically, which is great, and I've been having a lot of fun with that for many, many years, but after a while, it starts wearing thin a little bit, and you start to desire other things. You start to want to get into new and exciting hobbies that might not necessarily be usual, or what most would consider to be all that popular, or niche, basically, but still have a lot of fun doing it. That was almost a perfect short stop. Holy shit. And I was just looking for something fun to do at some point, basically, because I was bored at one point and I wanted to get into something new. Now, it wasn't until I managed to find a content creator by the name of Mike Shake that I actually learned that there are so many different skills and hobbies that you could get into. Now, a lot of the skills that Mike Shake focused on for many, many years have not exactly been all that eventful. A lot of them are relatively small things that you could just try out for the hell of it and not really think too much about it. Or they were skills that literally have no use to anyone or anything whatsoever, and they're mostly just kind of there to keep you occupied for a little bit. And it's a whole thing. Like, a lot of the skills that Mike Shake learns are cool, but only for like a little bit before I get bored again. I actually wanted to get into a hobby that I could pretty much stick with forever, or at least for as long as I find it interesting and fun. And that was where I came across a video by Mike Shake that revolves around butterfly knife tricks, where he basically just learned a bunch of crazy butterfly knife tricks that I really enjoyed watching. And to this day, it's still one of my favorite videos that I've ever seen on the entirety of YouTube. And let me be clear, I've seen a lot of videos over the years on YouTube. I've watched plenty of gaming content creators like Jacksepticeye, Checker Conroy, popular MMOs and whatnot. I've seen a lot of tech-related videos from NKBHD, Austin Evans, and Mr. Mobile, who is, by the way, my favorite tech creator. And there's just so much stuff that I've seen online. But Mike Shake's butterfly knife tricks video has really recaptured my imagination for just learning fun and unique skills that don't just revolve around sitting in front of a screen, pretty much. So I was looking into butterfly knife related content for a little bit before I actually committed to buying my own butterfly knife, because I wanted to do a little bit of research first before I actually bought one and started learning tricks for myself. And that was where I came across content creators like Will Hirsch, Blade Bias. I came across the Buffness Flips and Ghost Flipping. Ghost Flipping in particular was the creator that really got me started in just doing butterfly knife tricks. I don't know what it is about Ghost Flipping, but there was something about his content that I find really interesting and really inspiring in a lot of ways. So much so that I actually got into buying my very first Balisong, which is this thing right here. Now, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it because this frame is a little bit on the dark side and this thing is just very, very black. But this is the first Balisong that I ever bought. This is the Nabali's Morse, and you can tell that it is the Morse because of the Morse-esque. I don't know how well you can see that on here, actually. Yeah, you should be able to see that. It has a Morse pattern to it, which I absolutely adore. I think it looks really, really cool. Now, I know that at the time that I bought this was a few months ago, like 4 or 5 months ago or something like that. Even then, I knew that there were better models out there. Like, I know that there's actually an updated version of the Morse. It's called the Lightning, that the exact same companies that made this sells nowadays. But this thing looks just really, really cool to me. And it was also used by Mike Shake and a number of other creators who I really enjoyed watching for a bit. So I ended up just buying this thing, even though I knew that there were better options out there at a similar price. I also bought it because it was one of the cheaper, higher quality Balisongs out there that I could potentially be buying. So that was also a reason why I went with this as opposed to literally everything else that was available on the market at the time. I wanted to get something cheap but high quality so I could actually see if I enjoyed this enough to where I actually wanted to buy more Balisongs and learn more tricks and that kind of stuff. So, needless to say, that is pretty much what happened. I ended up buying this thing, which is the Nabali's Extrusion. And I got this because, again, it was relatively cheap. It was actually cheaper than the Morse was. The Extrusion costed me, I believe, 45 bucks or something, whereas this thing was 60. So, this thing is cheaper. Like, the silver one is cheaper, but it is also better in a lot of ways. It's grippier, it's lighter. Like, this thing actually feels gosh darn heavy ever since I got this. This thing is a lot lighter than what I'd gotten used to up to this point. Which is great for me because for a while I actually started developing RSI. Like, I think I started developing carpal tunnel because I flipped this thing so much. And I started to I don't know where the hell I was going with that sentence, but I essentially needed something a little bit lighter to flip. So that's where this thing came in, and it actually is a lot lighter than the other one that I got, which is great for me because that means that I will have to. That means that I won't get RSI as easily while I'm flipping this thing, which is absolutely amazing, and I love that about it. Now, a little thing to note as to why exactly my flipping isn't that great yet. Like, I've seen a lot of content creators on YouTube, like, once again, Will Hirsch, Blade Bias, and Ghost Flipping, who do all sorts of crazy stuff with their balisongs, like they can do a bunch of really crazy tricks. I am not that amazing of a balisong flipper. I am still very much a beginner, which is why you see me do the exact same trick over and over and over again. I do have a neat little combo that I actually posted a little while ago on, I believe it was Blue Sky that I posted it. Let me see if I can do it here on camera again. Yeah, there we go. So that is the combo that I know how to do. I also know how to do this thing, which is called the helix. If I can actually do it correctly, that would be great. Oh. Yeah, I actually learned the helix on that other balisong that I was messing around with earlier, which is great. Yeah, there we go. That was a successful helix. I love doing this trick. It is easily the most satisfying trick to pull off because it's actually a pretty complicated trick, all things considered. Also, aerials. I really love to do aerials because it's just so satisfying to let the balisong roll over my thumb, then throw it into the air and catch it like that. That is awesome. Chaplains, I can do for... I can legitimately do this for hours if the balisong doesn't fly out of my hands, because this is really chill to do. It gets quite uncomfortable after a long period of time on my finger, because balisongs are not necessarily designed to do all sorts of tricks with. Well, I mean, these things are, because they are made by people who do balisong tricks and who love flipping and everything, and who actually want to give people a decent balisong to use as a skill toy. But they were never necessarily made with tricks in mind. So doing stuff like this, while fun, it does hurt after a little bit. But yeah. What's also really cool about something like this is that balisongs nowadays, there used to be a time when balisongs were primarily just made to be a weapon, basically. Like butterfly knives or balisongs or Batangas knives or whatever you want to call them originated from a time where combative arts were literally all that knives were used for, and balisongs were used for that kind of stuff. You know, they were just used as weapons. And although balisongs do still classify, or whatever you want to call that, as weapons, they are used as more of a fidget toy or a skill toy than anything else nowadays. And that is where this thing comes in, because this is not an actual sharp knife. Like, I can just do this, and you'll see I have absolutely no cuts. And that is because this is a trainer, which this particular one is actually just a thick piece of aluminum. Whereas this thing does use steel for its blade, but it doesn't have an actual sharp blade. In fact, it has a bottle opener more than anything else. So that is freaking cool. I love the fact that this thing has a bottle opener. I will say, one of the most fun things that I've ever done, and one of the most fun things to do just in general, is to take out a balisong like this, do something crazy with it. Like, I can just roll it over my thumb, throw it into the air like that, and then open a bottle with it like this. That is just the coolest freaking party trick in the world. And I absolutely love the fact that I can do that with a balisong of all things. It's really, really cool. I love it. Yeah. Balisong flipping has easily become one of the most fun Ooh! Gotta be careful not to drop it. Balisong flipping has easily become one of the most fun things I've ever done in literally forever. Like, there have been a lot of hobbies that I've gotten into over the years, but literally every single one of them revolves around something in IT. Whereas now I can actually... Whereas now I actually get a chance to just get away from the screen for a little bit and just do something fun. Learn fun tricks with balisongs, with butterfly knives of all things. Yeah, that was the primary thing. That was the most important thing for me, mainly, that I actually got away from the screen for a little bit in favor of just doing something, I don't want to say productive, but in favor of just doing something fun and in favor of doing something that is genuinely good for you, actually. Like, balisong flipping, like, this can turn into a pretty dangerous hobby if you were to do what I do on this video with an actually sharp knife. But, learning skills like this, and this goes for literally any sort of flow art. Think of pianos, think of guitar, think of yo-yos, think of gendamas, think of, you know, anything like that that requires any sort of flow, you know. This kind of stuff is really good for you in terms of mental health and in terms of the way that your brain develops and everything. Like, there's a lot of benefits to this that I remember a content creator by the name of Tomo Carroll, who went into that exact topic a little bit on his channel a while ago when he started to learn all sorts of crazy tricks or skills like this. He made a fantastic video on the topic, which I highly recommend you check out. I think that it's incredibly important for anyone to learn any sort of skill like this. It doesn't necessarily have to be butterfly knife flipping. You can also get into pianos, like I said, or yo-yos, or juggling, for that matter. Just anything that you can just kind of turn your brain off for a little bit and just do something crazy, do some fun tricks, or learn to write a song or whatever on a piano or anything like that. It's very good for you, and I highly recommend anyone to get into this sort of thing, especially if you're like me and you just need to do something with your spare time. Like, if you have way too much free time, like I do right now, and you feel like you're just getting bored out of your frickin' mind and you need to do something with your spare time, learn some skills. Do something fun like this. Like, I actually have some juggling balls on a shelf somewhere around here. I don't really know where I left them. I don't have them on me right now, but they are somewhere on a shelf. Juggling is something that I've definitely considered getting back into. I used to do it quite a bit when I was a kid, but that is definitely something that I would like to get back into at some point when I get the motivation for it. So that would be really, really fun to do again. If you have something else that you could use for a skill toy, like you could even do some fun tricks with fidget spinners. Like, we all have a fidget spinner at this point, right? So, hey, do something fun with that if you really want to get into something. And if you already have a fidget spinner, from what I understand, you can also do all sorts of really fun tricks with those things. So have at it, have fun, perform some tricks, and learn stuff, I guess. So yeah, that is it for today's episode of Koen's Corner. I want to do one last short stop real quick. That was not very smooth at all, but I am still learning. Like I said, I am still very much a beginner, so I am very much learning how to do most of this stuff, but I am getting there. It just takes me a really, really, really long time, and it is something that I genuinely want to learn how to get better at, because this is just so much fun. It's also incredibly easy to get addicted to. If you're anything like me, it is incredibly easy to get addicted to something like this, to get addicted to flow arts or to get into skill toys or whatever. Because it's one of those things where you really want to do that one trick, and you really want to do it well, you know. And it's one of those things where it gets really easy to just get completely lost in the zone for a little bit, just to learn that one single trick. Like I could legitimately sit here and flip comfortably for hours if I wanted to. And to tell you the truth, I kind of want to, because this has just been really fun. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at this. I'm just gonna put my my Morse on the screen here, and I will leave it at that. Actually, maybe I will just take both of my my Balisongs and just put them on screen like this. Oh yeah, that looks great. Let's do that. Yeah, this is not gonna look perfect, but I mean it works for what I want to do, right? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little rambly video. I promise there will be more scripted content, some more structured content very soon, because I have a lot of ideas cooking up, like I already said, and I would like to get those videos out as soon as possible. More content coming out in the not too distant future. Thank you all for watching. Like I said, like and subscribe. You know how this kind of thing works. You know how this goes. And I will see you guys in the next one.